everybody, welcome back to another YouTube video. We are back at Cayuga and we are here today for a private day. Shout out to TMP for having us, super appreciated, and of course to my dude Jacob from the Straight Pipes, who was the one who hooked all this up and invited me out. We got the whole track to ourselves. Beautiful thing to see. Two objectives: we're trying to test a few things and we're getting some content and filming done, obviously for ourselves, but as well as our buddy John, who is filming a short documentary on us and drifting in general in the grassroots space. We're going to try a 380 mil steering wheel. Let me show you guys for context. This is the larger wheel that we're going to try. This is the smaller wheel. So that's a 350 mil, 380 mil. So we're going to test this out. The idea behind this is that larger wheel equals smaller inputs by the driver, translated to the same inputs at the rack. Hoping it's going to be smoother and more predictable. If we like it, we're going to stick with it. I'm on about 15 psi cold in the rear right now. We're going to drive that for a couple laps. Then I'm going to up rear tire pressure about 10 degrees, and we're going to drive that for a couple laps. The idea with that is to try and simulate a cold track and a hot track. We're going to work on perfecting our launch so I don't blow the tires off this thing every time. That's something I need to get better at. We're gonna work on making sure we do a really good job at scrubbing our front tires, getting ready for that burnout box, have a routine in place. It sounds silly, it sounds small, but just getting in the habit of doing that. It's not something I did a lot when I was driving low-powered cars. Now that we got the rear grip and the speed, it's very important we warm up our fronts. We'll make a few dampening changes as well and maybe some alignment stuff in the front, but it's nice to have the opportunity to kind of do this at our own leisure. So I'm gonna hop in the car and we're gonna go for our first laps with a new sized wheel. Shout out to my pretty lady. Motion detailing in the house, dude. Let them know. Making sure the new wrap looks sick. First time truly seeing it in the sunlight, and I gotta say, it looks pretty killer.
Details over here.
Getting all the details.
Bring up the gold. Come here closer. Right here.
Look at that.
Flake. Holy.
Big flake guy.
Yep.
All right, let's get on track. We tested a bigger wheel, we love it. We just tested on slightly higher than comp pressure, so we were at like 17, 18. Put on another set, and we have these right now at 28 PSI. So this is much higher than we'd ever typically go. We're trying to simulate different grip conditions and cold and hot tracks. So now we're gonna go out, the car should feel much looser, which means we're gonna have to make adjustments on how we drive this track. But yeah, let's go get some loose laps. Like 35 PSI hot. That's more than we'd ever drive with. That was to simulate different grip scenarios, hot track, cold track. So now we're gonna go back to like a quote unquote somewhat normal pressure and continue to spin some laps. Jacob just did his first tandems behind me, and he did phenomenal. What are we feeling right now?
Bro, I was driving through a wall of smoke, couldn't see anything, but I somehow held it together. It was the biggest rush I've ever felt in a car. It was so sick.
You killed it, dude. Driving blind. Ricky Bobby with the Cougar.
Hell yeah.
We are going out with our boy Jacob. Gonna do some coaching. Not that he needs much at this point. He's pretty much a natural, but see if we can give him a few pointers here and there on how he can take his driving to the next step.
Your feet shouldn't get hot. You're sitting in a couch.
My ass is hot just because the seat's black.
Yeah.
Drift event I went to, my cousin, I have a cousin that's 10 years older than me. He grew up with some local guys like Brad Carlton, Pat Sear, and they invited, I was like 12 at the time, I think it was 2007, at Downsview, like the
no way.
Yeah, Downsview Airport, and it was DMCC when they used to come to Ontario. And first time seeing drifting, I go out there. First of all, I fell in love with it. I was like, this is skateboarding culture, BMX, all mixed with like freestyle motorsports. There's so much expression and style, and then there was a team there that day called Drift Alliance. And it was Chris Forsberg, Tony Angelo, Ryan Turek, and there's one, I think Von Given was there at the time. And that was when they were doing their whole like tour of the US and Canada. And obviously I didn't know who they were at that time, but that was the first time I ever saw drifting, was that weekend.
That's wild.
And I was just like right there and then, I'm like, I'm doing that.
So you were there at the beginning of drifting, basically. When they were in North America trying to like spread word and all that stuff.
I was, 4 years behind seeing the very start of it, but basically as far as I'm concerned in Canada, that was like when I really was like, oh shit, this is a thing and it's coming here and it's alive.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Now I've got to like meet Ryan Turk and like Von Gitten's giving me like,
you got to ride along with Von Gitten,
it's wild.
It's full circle. Crazy. It was crazy too because like Downsview's an airport. And there's all hangars and it literally was like the scene from the first Fast and Furious. At Race Wars. This is like everything I want to be involved in right now.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah, that was the first drifting experience and now here we are. With a BMW.
Chevy engine.
Yeah, Chevy engine. Very far from the cars that were there at that point.
Dang.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Spokesperson for sunscreen.
Dude, sun safety's sexy.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
That's before you got caught on the
pressure now in the rear and just the curbing just DB'd the tire.
Yeah, you drove over that.
Alright, we just wrapped up our test day, number 2. Today was a mix of testing, trying new things, which went really well as filming with John and hanging out with Jacob from the Straight Pipes. Obviously, once again, a huge shout out to Cayuga for having us, as well as Jacob for inviting me out. It was really awesome just to have the track to ourselves and to just kind of take our time and do things the way we want to. All the things we tested today went successfully. Got a little bit better of a feeling for different setups, tire pressures. I'm really stoked on the larger wheel. Like, big rigging for life, dude. Like, honk honk Peterbilt, let's get it. So yeah, shout out to my dude Brad for planting that seed in my head a while ago. And the more I thought about it, the more it makes sense. I started watching other dudes in car videos as well. I know a lot of guys are running the larger wheel and just makes so much sense. So trying it today and feeling it was honestly phenomenal. I highly recommend you try it if you haven't already. You may hate it. I loved it. Feeling good going into Lake Erie Pro-Am. The move is just, this year is about learning. We can't get better if we don't do, so we're just gonna go do the thing. And it's our first time ever competing in a full Pro-Am series. It's our first full season driving this car, and it's about getting back in the rhythm and also just trying to have fun. Last year was so stressful. There were times where I was not a happy camper, and this year we're trying to stay super positive and just picture it like it's a skate park day with your friends, but also come to kill. So that's the move this year. Peace out. See you at Erie.
For the camera.